Welcome to today's show. Real life often inspires art, not just in literature and movies, but in music as well. Today, we're going to discuss 10 songs that were inspired by true events.
I'd like to apologize. But who to?
For Walls, The Ballad of Perry Smith by Bastille is based on the Truman Capote novel In Cold Blood, which is a novelization of the real-life murder of the Clutter family in 1959. Perry Smith was born on October 27, 1928 and executed on April 14, 1965. He was one of two ex-convicts convicted and executed for a 1959 quadruple murder during a home invasion of the Clutter family in Kansas. The crime was made famous by Truman Capote in his 1966 nonfiction novel In Cold Blood. Frontman Dan Smith was taken aback by the book when he read it, and Four Walls came from it. I think that's the thing that's so interesting with In Cold Blood. It's so beautifully written, and it's such an engagingly constructed kind of narrative, but then you constantly remember that this actually happened. There's something about watching fiction or reading fiction and knowing that it's fiction where it's maybe not as disturbing as it should be. But then knowing these things, in Cold Blood, are real, there's something so eerie and creepy about that. And I remember constantly having that realization with that book when I was reading it.
These four walls to keep you, one floor to sleep upon, and only these.
Ballroom Blitz is song by the British glam rock band The Sweet, from their album Desolation Boulevard, which released in Europe, 1973, and the US, 1975. Its inspiration came from an anecdote from January 27, 1973, in which the band performed at the Grand Hall in Kilmarnock, Scotland, where audience members bottled them, driving them off stage as a result. The song appeared on the US and Canadian versions of Desolation Boulevard but never appeared on a Sweet album in the UK, other than hits compilations. The initial guitar and drum riff of the song has similarity to a 1963 song by Bobby Comstock called Let's Stomp.
And all I got a rockin' band. Come on baby, let me take your hand, let's stomp. One girl, let's stomp now.
The girl in the corner, let no one ignore her. She thinks she's the passionate one.
Hey Man, Nice Shot by Filter is based on the 1987 suicide of former Pennsylvania State Treasurer Bud Dwyer, who shot himself on live TV during a press conference. Dwyer had been convicted of bribery charges in December 1986, and was expected to receive a long sentence from U.S. District Court Judge Malcolm Muir. Professing his innocence and decrying the legal system, Dwyer shot and killed himself with a .357 Magnum revolver during a live televised press conference. The guitar line in the chorus was previously used in the Stabbing Westward song On God in 1994. Stuart Zekman, who was also playing guitar for Stabbing Westward at the time, took the riff and showed it to Stabbing Westward, who ended up using it as well.
That's why I say, hey man, nice shot.
A song from the American rock band Pearl Jam, a single from their album 10, which released on September 27, 1992. Its inspiration comes from two accounts. The first, and primary influence, came from an incident that vocalist Eddie Vedder came across in a newspaper article. The event involved a 15-year-old boy named Jeremy Wade Dell, who committed suicide at his school in 1991. That morning, Jeremy arrived to class late, and the teacher in his second period English class, Faye Barnett, told Jeremy to get an admittance slip from the school's office. Instead of retrieving the admittance slip, however, Jeremy went to his locker and retrieved the gun he had brought along with him. Jeremy's suicide note read like this:
To whoever I decide this is to, I have a lot going on, a little too much, more than what I can handle. I'm in too much pain, and I just want you to understand why I'm doing this. I don't hate myself, I hate what's going on in my life, my parents, and new school. I feel like I don't fit in nowhere. I realize that there will be friends that will try to ask me why. Because I feel like I have to, I feel it's the only way. I figure it's been so many, y'all won't even know I'm gone, and as for ones that tried to hurt me, you didn't. Sorry, Nancy, by the time you get this letter I will have blown my head off, aka suicide, better known as, last way out. News flash, not your fault. It's Michelle's along with about 137.5 other problems. I was just writing to see if you wanted to go to the funeral. Call my house and ask for my dad. At least you didn't have to hear the boom. Love, Jeremy Wade Dell.
A tragic ending to an all too brief life. We'll look at the other incident in a later video. New York mining disaster 1941, the debut American single by the British pop group the Bee Gees, from their album Bee Gees First, released on April 14, 1967. According to the liner notes for their box set Tales from the Brothers Gibb, 1990, the inspiration came from the 1966 Aberfan mining disaster in Wales. However, although a mining accident did occur in New York, it happened in 1939, not in 1941.
I keep straining my ears to hear a sound.
Winds of Change is a power ballad by German rock band Scorpions, the third single from their album, Crazy World, released in 1991. Its inspiration came from the fall of the Berlin Wall. The power ballad was composed and written by the band's lead singer Klaus Meine and produced by Keith Olsen and the band. The lyrics were composed by Meine following the band's visit to the Soviet Union at the height of perestroika, when the enmity between the communist and capitalist blocs subsided concurrently with the promulgation of large-scale socio-economic reforms in the Soviet Union. As of 2022, the Scorpions still perform the song live, but with lyrical changes in light of the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. The opening lines are changed to "Now listen to my heart, it says Ukraine, waiting for the wind to change." Meine stated, "It's not the time with this terrible war in Ukraine raging on, it's not the time to romanticize Russia."
Listening to the wind of change.
The Empire of the Clouds. From the English heavy metal band Iron Maiden from their 16th studio album, The Book of Souls, released on April 16, 2016. Its inspiration came from the 1930 R-101 airship disaster. R-101's outer cover was also giving cause for concern. An inspection on January 20, 1930 by Michael Rope and J. W. W. Dyer, head of the fabric section at Cardington, revealed serious deterioration of the fabric on the top of the airship in areas where rainwater had accumulated, and a decision was made to add reinforcement bands along the whole length of the envelope. Further tests undertaken by Rope had shown that its strength had deteriorated alarmingly.
To ride the storm to an empire of the clouds.
Pumped Up Kicks, by the American indie pop band Foster the People, released in 2010. While not a direct inspiration to any actual event or person, the song's lyrics were written from the perspective of a mentally disturbed kid harboring homicidal thoughts. It serves as a kind of a point of conversation towards gun violence, and by extension mental health. The subject matter of the song hits close to at least one member of the band, bassist Cubby Fink, whose cousin survived the Columbine massacre.
You know, in terms of pushing the envelope of culture and forcing people to have those conversations, I think that it was, a really healthy thing.
Sniper, a ballad written by Harry Chapin and first released on the album Sniper and Other Love Songs in 1972. It is loosely based on the 1966 University of Texas Tower shooting. Among the fictional elements made for the piece, the song does not name the real-life shooter nor the location. All the names of any real-life victims of the shooting were changed as well for the song. Overall, the song is 10 minutes long. Harry wrote this piece using 3 distinct voices for dramatic effect. Chapin sings all 3 voices. The first is the narrator, telling the story. The second is a variety of people reacting to the event, as if in response to news media questions. And the third voice is that of the sniper himself, stating his fears, his motives, and his raw emotions.
He laid out the rifles and loaded the shotgun, stacked up the cartridges along the wall.
Guaranteed. Written and performed by Pearl Jam vocalist Eddie Vedder, from the album Into the Wild. Vedder's debut solo studio album. Released on September 18, 2007, it served as the soundtrack for the movie of the same name, Into the Wild. The song, album and film are all take inspiration from the life story of American hiker and nomad, Christopher McCandless. After graduating from Emory University in Georgia in 1990, McCandless traveled across North America and eventually hitchhiked to Alaska in April 1992. There, he entered the Alaskan bush with minimal supplies, hoping to live simply off the land. On the eastern bank of the Susquehanna River, McCandless found an abandoned bus, Fairbanks Bus 142, which he used as a makeshift shelter until his death. In September, his decomposing body, weighing only 67 pounds, was found inside the bus by a hunter. McCandless's cause of death was officially ruled to be starvation, although the exact circumstances relating to his death remain the subject of some debate.
Everyone I come across in cages they bought. They think of me and my wandering, but I'm never what they thought.
That was our show. What did you think? Did you know that these songs were based on true events? What did you find the most shocking? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and, while you're at it, please subscribe to my channel. Also check out my Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise in the comments section. Until next time, this is Andrew in for Kevin Gibbon saying live long and prosper. May the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.